Excellence. Is it measured in likes, bottom lines, or the impact we make around us? The things we build, the students we inspire, the care we give.
Baby girl.
At CQ University, we recognise all kinds of excellence. We combine contemporary courses with more choices and real support to empower you to create the success that means more to you. Be with CQU.
I'm Jarrell Yahi, a proud Aboriginal man and former Origin great 172. FOGS was established in 1997 by Dick Tosser-Turner and Alan Graham to honour the legacy and contributions of Queensland State of Origin players. FOGS isn't just about celebrating past glories, it's dedicated to making a difference in the community. From supporting grassroots and elite rugby league to fundraising charities that are near and dear to our members' hearts. Through the connections of our Queensland Maroons, we hope to shape a brighter future for all.
Welcome to Durumble Country, where tradition, talent and community collide. At the heart of it all, rugby league, a game that unites city and bush, past and future. This is the CQ University Confraternity Carnival. Here we play with heart, faith and the spirit of confraternity. Proudly hosted by the Cathedral College, where the spirit is alive.
You might not see them at first, but they're there. Threads. It is the connection we feel when wearing the blue and gold. We're more than just borders. We're brothers, bound by the values of presence, simplicity, family spirit, and love of work. These are the threads that connect us, past, present, and future. And when our time here ends, those threads don't break. They travel with us in the choices we make, the friendships we keep, and the faith we carry forward. We're stitched into something greater, because at Marist College Ashgrove, every thread matters.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for an absolute treat here. Ignatius Park up against Marist College Ashgrove. Referees Caden Graham. Michael Crutcher joins us in this one, and this is the final game of the Div 1 pool rounds. There's a break here straight away. Halfway line, the prop forwards going forward. They're an Arfu. Oh, gazelle-like, gets to the 30-metre line. They'll get up and play at Ignatius Park. They go to the blind side, turns it back inside there to Shepherd, and Shepherd will take the tackle. And they've come up with a loose carry in Shepherd, or penalty I should say. They come up with a above the horizontal. Michael Crutcher, what an explosive start to this one.
Yeah, well, we saw yesterday one of the Iggy Park big men
Tama Rupina went down the left-hand touchline, around about 70 metres to score. John, you would have loved it. So their big man can move.
I'm welling up right now. He's a no-look pass. The crash ball coming through here from Solomon, and Solomon 5 out from the try line. Marist College Ashgrove, all of a sudden they're on the own try line defending, and here he is, Afu again. He's still got some petrol in the tank after that break. He's underneath there somewhere, underneath the tackle there of Graham. Diving from dummy half, reaches out and scores, and straight away the number 9 in Byron Piggott comes up with a try 90 seconds after the start.
Yeah, from that great run through the middle there, which was the start that Iggy Park wanted. We spoke yesterday about their game with St Brendan's, which was this time yesterday. It was a 0-0 draw, that one, and that was a game played in the drizzle and with a lot of mistakes in it, and both teams dropping the ball. Both teams hit their straps yesterday afternoon in the second game with some points, and Ignatius Park, the defending champions in this Confraternity Carnival in terms of Division 1 Confro Shield. They won it last year at home. They're trying to win it in Rockhampton now, with the last team to win consecutive shields was Ignatius Park after a run of years of no successful defence. They need to win this game to get through, so the equation's pretty simple. The winner of this goes through to the Shield quarterfinals this afternoon.
Well, he misses it. That could be crucial. From memory, I think, yes, last year they won. The year before they didn't even make it.
They didn't in St Lawrence's. They had they'd won in 22 in Mackay, and had a very un-Iggy Park-like tournament at St Lawrence's, but hit back last year with that epic final win over Padua.
So two things in that that first phase of play. First of all was the bust down by Afu, but then the penalty as well. And Ignatius Park made him pay, but a good dart from dummy half. As I said, Caden Graham's got himself a Div 1 game here, the referee, so wishing him good luck.
Player to watch at the back is in jersey 21. It's Lincoln Baker. He was the fullback in the Confro Merit team last year for Ignatius Park. He wore the 1 jersey from memory in the final last year. He made the Merit team. This year he's had an ankle injury, I believe. Only got cleared last Tuesday. He's a Cowboys linked player, and so yesterday was his first football in some time, so he's a big addition to the Ignatius Park team.
He's got the headgear on in field. That's come off. That's a Falcon right there. That should be play on. So Ashgrove have got their first charge inside Ignatius Park's territory, Crutch.
And whereas Ignatius Park's been playing in the Aaron Payne Cup, we mentioned yesterday, this is Ashgrove's first rugby league of the season. Yesterday's 2 opening games, they've come from a school rugby union season. They're coached today by Dallas Williams, a veteran Q Cup player and a Devils assistant coach in the Q Cup. So they're in good hands, and now trying to keep these big steps going of these Brisbane-based schools up against these real sort of more well-known league schools from Central Queensland and North Queensland. We saw Padua almost win the final last year, and Ashgrove's made some great progress in recent years and is in this tough pool. Ignatius Park, St Brendan's, thanks very much.
Yeah, last tackle, high kick, and takes it to the back there. There's a fullback in Hinsby.
I had someone from one of the other schools argue with me this morning they were in the pool of death, because every tournament has a pool of death, but it was a pretty feeble argument when you talk about this pool. It's a great pool. What a talent, this pool.
So a penalty inside the 10 here for Ignatius Park to get out of trouble. If they were in trouble, Breeze is still coming from top of your screen to bottom. Remember, all games being live streamed on the Confraternity website. And this one here has got a fairly handy crowd looking on. In Blockbuster. Ashgrove, relatively new in terms of the 47-year confraternity, or
45 years.
There you go.
Yep, 45 years. And we had a visit earlier from one of the many Confro graduates. We mentioned all the Confro graduates, the Queensland Premier, David Crisafulli.
Here's a chance down the left-hand side here. And how did his side go today?
Gilroy Santa Maria College from Ingham, drew 6-all in the game he watched, and he brought the jersey he wore in Confro in the mid-90s when he said he, in his own words, he was a winger who got burnt by PJ Marsh in a St Brennan's jersey.
There you go. That's not a bad player to be too good for you.
So he spent a lot of time with his team there, but he speaks again about the passion for Confro.
Cut out ball. Oh, cover defences are good enough. Yes, that's a great shot there from the Marist number 5 there, Matthew Lyons. That was a try for all money there, and he's put his body on the line with almost like a flying karate tackle.
That's a desperate defence you do for your mates, just trying to make sure that when they threw that face ball across there, you thought that looked like a try in the corner, the way that we see wingers score tries, but great effort from Marist.
Well, if you look at the size of the winger for Ignatius Park, he's a big body, and for him to be denied on the fly, I think his name is Jerry Mapari.
The Premier, David Crisafulli, just mentioned the impression that Confro had on him as a young man and said it was one of his favourite weeks. He loved playing Confro and still had very fond memories of it. So that's what this tournament does with so many who have played it, whether they're Origin players or in other walks of life. And that's a great shot.
Well, not only for people who are watching, playing, but also watching. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed every game I've been able to call. The luxury of doing so. That was a big shot we're talking about there from Ignatius Park and number 10 and Afu, who's having a whale of a game in attack and defence. That's the 40-minute there. Christopher Foley, where did he play Confraternity? Does he remember the location?
Mackay.
It was Mackay, okay.
Yeah.
At BB Print, that area?
That area there, and he remembers it with sharp recollection, which a lot of people.
Well,
do.
he's a back. His marbles will still be in place. Some of us forwards can't remember a few things from back in the day, but being a back, he'd be a little bit more intact there. Soper, just in front of the 30, flattish back line here. It's the last tackle. Here come the charges. Liam Rice is underneath, lets that one bounce. It's going to be dived on in the end. It's going to be a knock on, is it? I think so. And Ignatius Park will get a scrum feed right in front of the uprights. This is what we were talking about, Michael Crutcher, about you've got to contest that footy for mine. I don't subscribe to the fact to let them catch and then tackle them afterwards. I think the ball's going to be knocked on by you, the kicking team. So be it, they get the opposition get the ball anyway. So why not contest?
It's so much luck when it comes to these kicks. We saw yesterday, Marist had no luck at all with some of the St Brendan's kicks. 3 of them led to tries. So
correct.
Sometimes the way that ball bounces, that was almost the right spot.
I think the impact of the tackle knocked that ball back the way. It didn't come off the hand of a Marist player, but the impact pushed that ball behind the number 18 there in Daniel Spicer. Trying to get through there was Shepherd, the try scorer. Big fella goes for a charge. It's going to take some handling to pull him down, and Rapena. Hook in there, and Piggott has options. He finds us another number 10 in the back line now with Solomon. Marist hanging on for dear life. Down 4-0. Spinning and turning. Oh, I thought he's going to reach out there, but Afu deserves a try after what he did after the first minute. Dart from dummy half. As he got there, the referee's going to walk backwards. And I think you'll find that Byron Piggott, the number 9, has come up with a second try here for Ignatius Park.
I was just thinking as well that Marist had defended so well in that set, trying to get their defensive structures in place after, really only having a week or so of training after rugby union season against a team that's had a lot more time than that. But just that little dummy half dive at the end gets the points for Ignatius Park to go, you think the 10-0 after this conversion. That was impressive from Marist Ashgrove early on. They were really mussing up against Rapina, and through those, you talk to any of the Division 1 rivals about this competition and they mention the Ignatius Park props and how difficult that Ignatius Park middle is to, in defence and attack.
Yeah, Rapina, we obviously mentioned Afu after that break. He certainly got some pace for a big body. I'm not going to say anything about this being converted, but he hasn't taken it back very far. Just needs to get some elevation. Yep, sure enough, see. It's not a given, that's for sure. So I'd like to have that one again. Score remains 8-0.
Now, if you go to our Confraternity Carnival social media, either our Instagram or Facebook page, we put up about 5 tries yesterday. They were highlights. And one of those is the Ignatius Park try with Rapina sprinting like Xavier Casey on the left-hand side. I was going to call it the John Devine try of the day because it was a big man on the fly, and it's well worth looking at.
Most certainly, and this is the beauty of these players. They're young and they've still got some pace about them. That's a good carry there for the start with the Rapina, as you mentioned. I just love seeing forward score tries involved in the back line, getting the offloads because they've got the ability. They're just underrated and unappreciated front rowers.
Not in the commentary area.
No, definitely not. Love them. Can't win without them, that's for sure. Halfway line has been crossed. Penalty. High shot. Probably doesn't need to go on with their sofa. He's got the penalty. Doesn't need to be vocal in that one. Give me to Marist. And you're going to kick for touch, I tell you what. You want to be pretty good. Definitely puts that one into the... Well, if there wasn't a breeze there, that was going to land right in the middle of Strutty. So remember, if you're around here of all 7 fields, get over there and check out Strutty's. They've got some great gear. It's a good sofa now. Slow play the ball, had to check it. Essery finds a forward runner. Here they come again. Ignatius Park through their big men. Rapina was on that occasion trying to get past Reinders. He's just a big human, isn't he?
Yeah, that's good defence too to
yeah.
take him back as well from Marist. They're certainly committed in the line.
Oh, lovely play here. Try in the corner. It's going to be Daniel Spicer and a try awarded. Bodies in motion. Bit of confusion there from Marist. Who was going to actually get the footy because there's so many players involved in the back line that actually didn't have the footy in hand.
Yeah, they go on that left-hand side a couple of times and they get it right this time. They get that overlap there, and it's the pace to finish off and to bring that ball around next to the post as well. And that's just see that penalty there for that high shot that just slipped up. It was line ball, but the penalty was awarded. Just gives that field position. And we've had a change in kicker here as well.
Yeah, he got sacked straight away. The other thing too, also, that backline move doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen on the day. There's a lot of training involved there to get those combinations right. And that was just poetry in motion there, and Ashgrove weren't ready for it.
That's straight over.
You got to do the next one now. Might be on the sideline, but conversion successful. 6 minutes remaining, first half. Last of the pool division games here in Div 1, or actually across all 7 fields.
We've actually got one extra game starting at 12:40. So that's Marymount College will actually play the last pool game, and that starts with the quarterfinals and some of the Division 4 matches. So at 12:40 p.m. on this field, Marymount College will play Shalom College.
Be interesting indeed. Oh, that one just
so
bounced. Yep.
3 of the pools in Division 1 will have the quarterfinals sorted out. The top 2 teams, there's 4 teams in each pool. The top 2 go into the Confro Shield playoffs. The bottom 2 into the Bob Linden Trophy playoffs.
Rapina gets the ball and offloads it to a support player. Well, that's a bit of a head wrestle there. The referee will let that one go. Reinders, the 14, he's been strong. As a fullback here at Hinsby. Reinders again a dummy half on the 40. Flat pass, finds Lurk. Lurch has been a bit of a head knock here.
One of the things we have, of course, with these 6 games across a few days is we do tend to lose some players at different times. Fortunately, we've had relatively good news on a few players who have been hurt in the first 2 days now, but these players just put so much into it.
Ooh, juggles nicely. Jeez. That's good hands there. I reckon you do all right with a cat and a chainsaw as well. Good stuff there from the 7 and Shepherd. That's been charged down. Play on. Marist will come up with the footy. 4 minutes remaining, first half. They yet to get any points on the board. They're down 14-0. They've had no football. We've been looking majority of the time. Michael Crutch to the left, haven't we?
Yeah, they have to get down this end, which obviously goes without saying. If you're watching our live stream, it looks like a beautiful day out in the sun in Rockhampton. I can tell you, if you're not in the sun and you're in the shade and you're in the wind, it's not a warm day. Lovely out there.
Good run there from the Liam Rice, and good work. He saw the markers were offside. We've seen some smart play from dummy half runners in this competition. Eyes up footy, noticing and possibly listening to the referee saying, get out of it, get out of it. So here's an opportunity here from Marist Ashgrove to get some points on before they go to the break. 3.5 minutes remaining. It's going to be a tap restart here from the number 4. Marist Ashgrove, who I don't have on my score sheet. Lavia gets the offload to Liddycoat, and as Liddycoat got over, the referee walks backwards, and Ashgrove, for the first time they come down that end of the park, have come away with some points, and they're pretty happy about that. I'm pretty sure it's Liddycoat, the number 14.
Yeah, the right foot step there, and the gap seemed to open as he kept stepping towards the right there, and underneath the post he was quick enough and good enough to get through, and that's a really good try to Marist Ashgrove, and so close to half time as well. Just under 3 minutes to go, and we've got a player the referee would like to have a chat to.
Yeah, referee Graham has called out a player, and he's gone all the way down to get a drink, and now go all the way back to have a chat. I don't think he's the captain, Seb Gardner. I think Dave, I can't remember, might be on the money, just a little bit over the top with their celebration. Might have been a bit of a head rub of the opposition player. That's good work there from the referee and Graham to rub that out. You know, like seeing.
Well, we've seen that in Queensland Cup lately. The referees acting on players who rub their hand through the hair of a player who's made a mistake. And in Queensland Cup lately, we've seen the referees react to that with penalties, which I think is a fair thing, because if you've made a mistake, the last thing you want is especially a little hooker rubbing his hand through your hair to say, cop that.
Just look at the scoreboard, mate. That's what you got to say. I can remember just a good old sledge rather than something verbally.
Yeah, well, you don't really need to on those occasions, do you? The player knows what's happened.
Totally.
I did see one a couple of weeks ago in Queensland Cup that ended with a try to the other team after the penalty. So that was an expensive rub there hand through the hair.
So Hinsby will restart here for Ignatius Park. 90 seconds remaining.
That ball sit up in that breeze too.
Well, I was talking to John Buchanan about that. It's not only is it hard for the player underneath the ball to take it, but the kicker to try and get in the spot he wants it has got to judge the wind as well.
Yeah, it's starting to really pick up. It'll be interesting to see what it's like for the quarterfinals this afternoon.
The sun is directly above us here, but we see Ignatius Park here trying to defend an 8-point lead, and there's a penalty, high shot. So they find touch quickly. They might get a couple of tackles, and just never know with the ball in hand. They've been good, Ashgrove, when they've had the football, Marist College.
40 seconds left, so they'll get a few tackles in here.
First carry gets across halfway. Back one's out to the right-hand side to this our broadcast side of the field one. Catch and pass here as we see number 4 for Ashgrove getting across the 40. 20 seconds remaining. Long ball. Just want to be careful. This is not an intercept on that one. Ball could float anywhere. Catch and pass here as we see Howard. That's Xavier Howard. Stands in the tackle. Last tackle. Go to the blind side. Down the left-hand side, Ashgrove needs to turn it back inside. It's a poor play going towards the try line. The cover defence from Ignatius Park gets there, but it's there too late. The try has been scored right on half-time. Can you believe it? And I think it might be the number 14 again with a double.
Oh, how about that for
You're
a
killing
try?
me. How good.
I thought that maybe they'll go to the air here, but they went to that left-hand side. They went short. The Ignatius Park defence wasn't sure what had the numbers, and that is a brilliant try. When we cut our highlights for social media, that try will be going on there. That is some hit back by Marist Ashgrove right on half-time as the siren went when the play was in motion.
Well, you talk about spectacular tries, but you've got to bring into the equation the time of day for that. They could have just gone to the sideline. They kept it alive here. The Hooters already gone. And to score that try back to back, you would have thought Ignatius Park would have come to the party, but this conversion could bring them within 2. Winters behind him. Waved away. 14 points to 10. Strap yourselves in, people, for the second half. We'll be back shortly here. Brought to you by CQ University and Struddies. Back soon.
Into the arms of Farnworth. Herby! Oh, what a shot, Bostock. Katoa. Oh, held it beautifully. Oh, that is just brilliant. Kicking for Bostock. Yeah! What a try, Jack Bostock. The crowd wants him to take off. He does take off. Just sit back and enjoy this wonderful sight. Last tackle, the poking kick, and it's a try. Sam McIntyre poaches one. Robson's away. What a tackle. Oh, Purdue straight through and he scores. Purdue, another try for the youngster.
For more than 160 years, Brisbane Catholic Education has educated generations of families in our schools. Covering the city, coast and country, our 140 plus schools across southeast Queensland are united to deliver an innovative and holistic education, one that nurtures students' minds, hearts and spirits, all with the aim of forging a brighter future. Brisbane Catholic Education, an education to believe in.
Saw a flurry at the end there, didn't we, Michael Crutcher, in this contest between Ignatius Park and Marist College Ashgrove. Tries in the 17th and 20th minute there to Ashgrove to bring them back within 4. 3 tries to 2. Tries to Shepherd Piggott and Spicer for Ignatius Park, and a double there to Cooper Liddycote. And we've got a game on our hands at the moment. At the start, it was Arfu, the big number 10, making a big break there. We thought Ignatius Park by how many, but now Marist College have come back into the contest with a lot of momentum into the second half, Crutch.
Oh, haven't they? What? And at 14-0, and don't forget 2 kicks missed as well. So sort of like a 3 tries to 0 scoreline there. And Ignatius Park would have felt fairly comfortable there, as comfortable as you feel in a 20-minute half. But full credit to Marist Ashgrove for the way they came back here, and they really have given Iggy Park something to think about here. We know these games can change fast, and they can change back again quickly, but if Marist Ashgrove with that little boost in confidence here.
Well, yeah, and they had no footy. It was all Ignatius Park in the first 15 minutes, more or less. Position and possession-wise. Well done to Ashgrove. A lot of handling errors inside their own end zone here. Here's a break here from nobody at home. Good carry there from Griffin. And so Ashgrove, they've got some footy. They're going to cause some pain here at Ignatius Park.
This is a big half for both teams here in terms of their shield ambitions. And we mentioned in yesterday's broadcast that, you know, every team has injuries and players out. They lose players before and after.
And Mitch Hardy goes without that, and he goes without that. Should be double knock on and scrum feed Ashgrove on the 40. But you're right, it's this is their third game in less than 24 hours, some of them.
And we mentioned that Ignatius Park got back one of the players of the Carnival last year in Lincoln Baker, as we see an injury here to the left shoulder. Looks like one of the centres for Ignatius Park, Solomon Terrari, coming off now. And
got a ton of tape on his right leg, and now his left shoulder's not $1 million, so a replacement player comes on him in Ryder Sofa, who's been devastating too. Of course he is, because he's got red hair.
And we hope that it's only a stinger.
Oh no, that's a coach killer right there, and he'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I hope that's a stinger there for Solomon and Iggy Park, and he can get back into this carnival. And we said, you know, Lincoln Baker was in the merit team last year in Year 11. So was Sean Green for Marist Ashgrove. He was coming back for Year 12 this year. Their captain hurt his ankle in training last Tuesday, ruled out for the carnival. So these are these little things. We noticed that Xavier Baha debuted for Sydney Roosters maybe a month ago. He was a former St Mary's Toowoomba student, but didn't play Confro, got hurt just before Confro and missed it.
Griffin gets the offload there to Mapari, still going Mapari. I thought he was going to lose the footy there. He'll get up and play it. But you're right, they've also come off 8 weeks of tough footy, most of these players as well, Crutch. So there's going to be some injury tolls that haven't had, or little niggling injuries that haven't had a chance to be resolved.
That's right. And then you get to try to nurse something through a week like this. It's
good luck.
It's every team's got its own bad luck story.
Oh, certainly, but young and youthful. He's with Fletcher, and Fletcher driving towards the uprights, draws 3 defenders, but stands in the tackle to the line here. Ignatius Park, bodies in motion, similar to how they scored their second try, I should say, but this time Ashgrove readjusts. They trust the man outside. Dart from dummy half, trying to get across the line there as Griffin, and Griffin's going to be driven back into the field of play. But I like how Marist have trusted them, their inside and outside man when Ignatius Park go to the left, so the right defence from Ashgrove readjusted nicely. Last tackle now for Iggy Park. They lead by 14 points to 10, the half-time score. Kick into the in-goal area. Unfortunately, it's been not through the defence there of Naili Asiri. Ollie Millard.
Ollie Millard. We'll talk about Marist Ashgrove coming off rugby season. Looks like Ollie Millard had been playing cricket.
Yeah, it was a good grab, wasn't it?
Snaffled that in the slips.
Nice one.
And Marist now bring it out, but this is we've had 5 minutes of this game, this half, and it's been even, and here comes the penalty to get Marist into...
Yeah, I don't know what you think about that. He's penalised Iggy Park for grabbing the leg there, and actually the Ashgrove players all lashed out. She's found touch there, I tell you what. If that doesn't find touch, that Ashgrove player, he may have gone to the far side, away from his teammates who are right there where that went out. So here they come, Ashgrove. But yeah, I think the referee hate the leg grab. So let's see if Ashgrove can get deep here on the back of that ill discipline from Ignatius Park. Halfway line, that's a good carry. It's still going the 15, and lovely stuff there from Archie Searle. Searle brings his teammates deep now into the Ignatius Park offload there, and he might Liam Rice won't be real happy about that. He's underneath there somewhere.
I like the offload, but I also like the principle of pass to the man in a better spot than you are.
Yeah,
but it was worth a try.
Why not? There's a 20 here for Ashgrove. I'm not sure of his name there. He may have changed his jersey. Cut out ball, catch and pass. Here's a chance here now for Lions. Tries the Marist sidestep. Touch judges going to put his flag up. And a good cover defence there from Iggy Park. They were denied last time in the end of the first half there, where the cover defence wasn't strong enough, but this time they turned up in their numbers.
Yeah, well, that was that left-hand edge we saw score that try just before half-time. They had that really slick ball movement. It was there again. That was some low percentage passing that came off really well. It was so well executed.
Yeah, Matthew Lyons, number 5 there, so close here, but they've come up after half-time. Marist Ashgrove with some footy. They're going to cause some headaches. Ewan still play on. He's above the horizontal. Just. Yeah, it's so tough, isn't it, Michael Crutch, when you get a good tackle like that, and unfortunately one of the legs goes above horizontal. Yeah, you get penalised. It's just unfortunate. It's the rule.
Momentum of the runner there just meant that.
It's just physics, basically. If you're running there and they get hit in a certain spot, something I did learn at school.
It did. That's
apart from how to wag. Where the security cameras weren't. Couldn't see you. Deep back line here for Ignatius Park. Crash ball. Had 5 players out to the right-hand side. Again, they come to this blind side. Here's a dart here for Hinsby. High shot.
Just grabbed him around the collar there and brought him to ground. But Lincoln Baker's back on the field for Ignatius Park. He was on the bench the first 7 minutes of this second half, so he's back in the fray.
Hint of thinking about a number 2 points there, Crutch. Anyway, it's going to put it through the hands. We'll never know. Number still on the left-hand side. Cut out ball. Carr knocks it on. Has a bit of a bo peep. And that's just pressure there. Daniel Spice has already scored 1 try, but on 2 occasions, unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to grab the footy. In that instance, he's got some pace to get to the line here, but good work there from Marist Ashgrove to scramble to get to that far side.
Yeah, they scrambled well, and you think that Ignatius Park will just want to fine-tune this left edge as they head into Tuesday afternoon's game. They just have been a little bit off as they've tried to go out there to score. They did score a try there in the first half, but there's been a few attempts where it just hasn't worked for them. So you'd imagine that may be looked at by their coaching staff.
Well, when you talk about the coaching staff, I think Marist Ashgrove coaching staff have addressed after that try, they just couldn't match the numbers with bodies in motion. Ashgrove have actually been able to readjust here. They've listened to their coaches, and that sweeping left-hand play from Ignatius Park has been nullified by those adjustments. You see an underball here. They try to go up through the middle there. There's not much way through there. And I just find that Marist College Ashgrove's firepower is out wide, juggles, and that's not ideal, especially with you're inside your own half. And Ezra will take that tackle. He was inside the Ashgrove half. He gets driven back, so a penalty. I don't know whether the referee called held, and they didn't get off him. They didn't let him go. Ezra will find touch on the far side. Good numbers over there, Crutch, in the sun. And behind the in goals. Big crowd for this Div 1 game.
In the sun, hopefully with some wind protection.
Yeah. Ewan gets the offload here, or somehow Esri comes up with a footy. Numbers to the right. Baker, flick pass. With Griffin, he'll take the tackle. The defence there from Ashgrove was good. They've come up on him. Need a number up here. They only have a 4-point lead. Ignatius Park. The last thing Ashgrove want to be down by 8. It's just quality opposition, trying to come back from that. So this is an important part of the game right here, or time of the game. Again, they go to the left-hand side, under ball here, trying to crash over there, gets close, the referee's right there. Last tackle, Ignatius Park, what have they got here? Ashgrove, can they hang on? Hits the goalpost, dive gone, and that'll be a knock-on by Ashgrove, and Iggy Park will get another another set of 6 here, I think, Crutch.
I just have a look at where he's called this knock-on. I think he's called the knock-on here against Ignatius Park, so it'll be Marist get to play it out. Sometimes the upright is your friend, and sometimes it's not, and it wasn't the friend of Ignatius Park there. So Marist get a chance to bring it out. They'll be looking for something to help them.
I think they find that left-hand attack of Ashgrove have been their most potent.
Well, there's a penalty they needed. And you can see in this, and we mentioned that try just before half-time, which was one of the tries of the Carnival so far. Even they went to the left in the second half down here. So Coach Dallas Williams obviously plotting a way to beat Ignatius Park here, and you think that when you try to play Ignatius Park, the middle's not your friend.
No.
So if you can beat them on the edges, that can be a way to get points on the ball, which they've done so far here. They've got a big chance here now with 8 minutes to go. If they can get points out of this visit, this will be a very interesting...
Oh, no. Knock on to play the ball. Robinson. We're just talking about the big men. I just see Rapina's out there, and I just saw on the left-hand side is Sitoveni Arfu is about to come back on the park. You'll be able to tell because the ground will actually start to tilt on one side, and the sun will be partially blocked. Big body.
Well, they've had a series of, big bodies in recent years. Ignatius Park, Jamal Shibasaki, and their 22 winning team in Mackay, now playing NRL level and Queensland Cup level. So they've had some big bodies that have served them well at this level for many years now.
Half-time score is 14-10, unchanged as we go 13 minutes into this second half. Rapina, almost to halfway. There's still 3 players keen to come on for Ignatius Park. When they're injected, will probably be the sooner rather than later. So far, it's a good tackle there from the 5'8" there in Millard. It's a bigger player. Lurch. Ashgrove really need to play the ball down. Hits the last tackle, says referee Graham. It's a high kick, swirling conditions, thundering feet, loses it. Footy dived on the in goal, and that will be a line dropout. Oh, I don't want to be a fullback in these conditions, Michael Crutcher. Not with humans like that coming at you.
He did really well too there, just the way he just took his eyes off the ball just to look at where those defenders were coming from. Then he locked back into the ball. Did all the basics well, but the way that breeze is swirling, it's pretty hard to take those balls at the moment. So, And his headgear is down near the 40-metre line on the field.
Here he comes now. We talk about Apu. Big fella's back out there. Good carry. Doesn't break the line this time. Referee says go back and play it on the mark. Pick it a dummy half. Blind side. Gap closes pretty quickly there on the right of Sofa carry. Penalty holding down the ruck too long. Actually, I think Ignatius Park would like to play on there. I think they saw an opportunity to the right.
That was almost a time when you almost play the ball too fast and get into a bit of a tangle, but they reset that line now, Marist.
Yep. Sofa another carry within 5. Long ball, has to wait for it. It's the other thing they've got to watch out for. They can't be too far away from the passes because of this breeze. Set play. They go to the left. Numbers again, and they're gone again without the footy. There's Daniel Spice with a knock on.
Yes, that left side attack there is that last pass going to ground. I remember talking to one former NRL player who had an edge that wasn't quite performing as he would have liked, and I won't name him here, but they let in 2 tries as an edge in 2 minutes, and he sent the 4 of them away to talk to each other, away from the other 9 on the field, and said, go and sort your stuff out over there, you guys, and come back and talk to us.
How about that? That's diplomacy at its best.
The way these
Own it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, defensive edges, work a bit differently than attacking moves. But these combinations are so important, particularly when you've got your edges and your middles and trying to get those combinations to win your Confraternity Shields.
Yeah, it comes down to communication, doesn't it? Just talk to your player inside and outside. So Ashgrove were going to that left-hand side, and they come that way again. This is a cut-out ball. Sort of worry about the sideline. Got to play down the back play here for Ashgrove. Oh, big contact there coming here from Matthew Lyons. Last tackle, that's the 40 metres. A good defensive set here from Ignatius Park on the last tackle. Can you believe it? Goes against Afu, holding down the ruck. The referee's been consistent with this, Michael Crutcher.
He has been. The penalties on the last tackle.
Wow. The player that was down for Ashgrove just got back to his feet. I think he might have actually been winded. Here we go now. Xavier Howard. Howard with a left-arm fend. Not enough there to displace the defenders. Get up and play. That's the 40-metre line. Dummy half now is Harrison Graham. Va'a. Referee Graham trying to get Ignatius Park back on side here. No look pass here for Liam Rice, and Rice was no way through there. Was their strength earlier. Ignatius Park have adjusted to their right-hand defence. Ashgrove were making some penetration in that part. Although Va'a again with his second carry in this set. To the right. Halfback there and Jed Cole. I don't think that was the play here. Rolls it out the back. It's still alive here. Wasn't called held. Seb Gardner.
They had numbers on that left too. They're trying to scramble back here. The Ignatius Park right side defence. They're there now.
Last tackle. Grubber kick into the in goal area. Kick dead. Good play there. Robinson.
Penalty there just for running behind the man. Which looked as though that came off a little bit too easily there, and that was possibly the reason. Now with 2 minutes to go here, you'd think Marist Ashgrove gets one more set. It's been a mighty second half by both teams here, where this is real Div 1 Confraternity Shield football at the moment.
14-10 at half time. No change to the score in the second half, and Ignatius Park knows about not scoring points in a half of footy. They went through a whole game without scoring any points or leaking any. It's at Brothers and Brendan's. A lot of the time for this rider so far. He's been really, really strong in the 12 jersey. Ignatius Park here, short ball. Might be Afu. No, it's actually stripped, and that would probably nullify or take away the win there, or the draw, I should say, or an opportunity for a draw for Ashgrove. So find touch on the far side in Esri. Discipline. Obviously, they wanted the footy back up, but you've got to do it the legal way.
We've got 1 minute here exactly from the tap.
He's underneath there somewhere. They win the wrestle in that one. Back line here for Ignatius Park. Bodies in motion. Here they come again. Here Ignatius Park. Lovely ball. Scores in the corner there. Ignatius Park through Brodie Pritchard. And that certainly takes away the opportunity for Ashgrove to come back here. So try in the dying seconds here, as Ashgrove did in the first half. Ignatius Park score on the hooter.
Yeah, well done to Ignatius Park. They'll go through to the Confraternity Shield. Quarterfinals this afternoon, along with St Brendan's Yeppoon from this pool here, and Marist Ashgrove. It's been a fantastic performance from Marist Ashgrove, and they will go into the Bob Linder Trophy, and they will be a handful on that Bob Linder Trophy. They'll be a difficult team to beat, as we see on the far field. Padua has scored, and there's a lot of cheering, so that might have been a close game against St Peter Claver. We'll sort out all of these Confraternity Shield and Bob Linder Trophy quarterfinals after the next game here on Field 1, which is, of course, Marymount College will be in that match. So pretty soon we'll know which 8 teams from Div 1 are into the
Look at this.
8. That's a great kick.
That's a Tiger Woods puddle on the 18th of the Masters. What a lovely ball back in. Sent it out over the ocean, Pebble Beach style, and straight through the uprights. Full time here, and a win to Ignatius Park over Marist Ashgrove. We'll be back here at Confraternity Day 2 with some more wonderful rugby league action brought to you by CQ University.